Back to the action after our final intermission. We've got our co-main and main events coming your way after this one. The rematch between Brandon Hill and Larry Caldwell.
Larry Caldwell with a little calf kick there. Big right hand, misses the mark.
And Brandon staying out of range as Caldwell lunges.
I can definitely understand at this weight not wanting to just stand there in front of your opponent. You can't go in and rush in, you know, so they've got to take their time a little bit. They've got to, you know, do that feeling out a little bit.
Hill is kind of circling, but he's staying in line, making it difficult to kind of, you've got to react when you're staying on line with somebody. If he would go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, it would make it easier to guess what was coming at him rather than staying right there in front of him. Even though he's circling a little bit, their heads are still kind of staying lined up, so you're staying in that A zone.
I'm not a big fan of him circling solely in that direction towards Caldwell's. I was going to say his power hand, but now he switched stances. So
yeah, switching southpaw now.
I think Brandon's having a difficult time dealing with the range. Little right hand.
Oh, I like that. I like that combination from Brandon. He went for that double feint that we talked about earlier, and went up top with the strikes. Very well executed.
Well, I think that woke both of them up.
Absolutely. It felt like Larry Smoke Caldwell got shook a little bit there. But he had a little success as well. Brandon's got to be careful just wading in. Good low kicks.
Yeah, that hurt him. You can see the grimace there from Brandon Hill.
Kind of picking his foot up a little bit more now.
That's something you give up when you stand in that bladed boxing stance. And it's good because you can jab forward, you can move front and back, but when you stand so bladed, it makes it very difficult to check the kick. So again, going back to what I've said earlier in the night, Larry Caldwell would do good to just keep it simple. Jab, hook, low kick. Hook, low kick.
Well, use that range, you're right. His length to his advantage as well. He's definitely the longer fighter here.
Caldwell, you can see he's kind of keeping his eyes open, relying on counter striking, whereas Brandon Hill, he's looking for those moments where he can explode and put together some volume on Larry Caldwell.
And I understand being judicious there, but it already seems to me to be a better, this first round seems to be better compared to the overall fight. We've seen more explosiveness.
He's probably got those Brent Mason words ringing through his ears, so he's just trying to push in the moments that he can. But not terrible work by either guy. Need a little more urgency from the Caldwell corner.
Pretty close first round. The big shot landed by Brandon Hill. More of the volume belonging to Larry Caldwell in that first round.
Yeah, definitely some success from Caldwell landing those leg kicks, but the big shots I felt like came from Brandon Hill.
Yeah, that was the big shot, followed up by a nice left there, and that got Caldwell into the action. But really, outside of those two big shots by Hill, he didn't land a whole lot else in that opening round.
Yeah, that is the truth. It's hard to say who won the round. What are these judges looking at? I think Hill did some good work. Had one moment where he maybe even shook Larry Caldwell. So I would kind of lean towards the Brandon Hill side as far as the round goes. But tough to call, tough one for
sure. He definitely needs to look at doing something about those leg kicks, not letting his opponent just tee off on him there.
Yeah.
I mean, checking him as an option, but also throwing a right down.
Yeah,
down the pipe.
Square up. Keep your stance a little more square. If we blade up and try to, I don't know, avoid the kick, we're just going to eat the brunt of it. But I agree, he could just put a right hand right down the pipe as well. Brandon Hill just kind of keeping his head in a little bit better position. You see how he kind of shies away from that kick rather than tries to step on it, square up, and land across.
I'd be a little careful throwing those kicks from Caldwell's side. You know, Brandon's obviously looking to catch those and fire off of them.
I like Brandon's posture early on. He was kind of underneath Caldwell. Now he's kind of picked up his chin and kind of putting himself back on that level a little bit more. Hands are hanging just a little low, and he's counting on pulling his head back. I don't like that. leaves a little too much to chance. That being said,
definitely, and in a, in a division where we've got a lot of power
Brandon Hill
exchange.
says, how about a kick of my own? What do you think?
Caldwell changing stances.
Hill's hands have to come up rather than his chin going back. He's just, wasn't a bad slip, but still putting himself in a position. Big right hand lands for Brandon Hill, and he's throwing it now. For big men, they look like they're both pretty well, pretty good shape. I mean, they're still, moving at a solid clip.
Halfway through this fight now.
It hasn't exactly been a grueling fight like the Nicholas Moses fight, where they're just leaning on each other the whole time, or even the kids fight. How about that?
That was the most action of the entire night right there.
These guys just came out and banged each other up.
Nice jab from Caldwell.
Hey, there's another big
Call
right
for
hand.
a go from Brent Mason, and Brandon looking to land some big shots. I do like that he's mixing up the wrestling with his strikes.
He's at least making him think about it. And again, Caldwell just being athletic here. That's what's tough, because Brandon Hill didn't do anything wrong there. Caldwell's just athletic, a little bit taller. You can't rely on that was a fundamentally unsound attempt to take him down. He just tried to lift his leg up, and
it
Larry Caldwell
cost a lot of energy, I'm sure.
A little too athletic for all that.
Yeah, a couple deep breaths there from Brandon Hill. Inside 30 seconds to go.
I still think that we need to see a little bit more urgency from Caldwell, as you said earlier. I mean, he's finding those little one-shotters, but he really needs to put something big together.
I agree. And if he would throw a 3-4 punch combination, I think his third, fourth, fifth punch would likely land, just because Brandon Hill's pulling his head off these big lunging efforts. And when you do that and somebody throws volume at you, they'll catch you with the last couple. It's going to happen. They're gonna catch up to you.
Exactly. Yeah, because they can't quite move their feet when their head's back, and you kind of, in those moments as well, you want to shoot something to the body because their body is there, and then bring it back up to the head. And hopefully Caldwell's able to make those adjustments in between these two rounds.
Brandon Hill, some deep breaths there on the stool, something to pay attention to moving into this third round. Caldwell still on his feet with Calvin Hackney in his face trying to urge him on. And I think that's really what it's about in this third round, urgency, right? Who's got more left in the tank and who can find that urgency? Because I've got it 1-1. I think Caldwell won the first round with the volume. We'll see how that goes. Brandon Hill felt like he was ahead in that second round, and we moved to this third here.
Because Larry Caldwell really didn't do anything in the second round. But I agree. Whoever goes out there and fights with urgency in this round, it's still a live fight. It can go either way.
Calvin Hackney urged out of the cage, and here we go with this third and final round before we move on to our co-main event. Rapolo and Cantley waiting in the wings. This will be the 6th round now between these two guys.
Brandon Hill does not want that low kick. You can tell he's urgent about not getting low kick, but still just kind of shying away from it. You got to check it. You got to offer up a wall. You got to turn your hip into it. That way there's actually something to kick into.
Brent Mason calling for a finish from Brandon. I would like to see a finish.
I think Brandon needs to do what he's had success with, feint that jab, come with the overhand right, try to create some. But you see Larry Caldwell a little privy this round. He knows something's coming, so he's throwing something up the middle. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, making Brandon's second think going in. But he's got to. He's got these leg kicks landed on him. He's got to make something happen.
The same thing I'm saying about Brandon, and Caldwell needing to use some volume, and he'll catch him. I think Brandon's the same way. If he put together a good 3-4 punch sequence, moves his feet. Oh, low.
Brandon said he don't want it.
So about it.
But I think the ref's smart there to make him take a little breather.
And hey, look, there's no question about Brandon Hill. He's a warrior, and he was willing to get right back in there.
Just let him go.
He almost got him angry. I kind of hope he take some of that anger out in the last few minutes.
As we all know, sometimes, you may not know this, Victoria, sometimes it takes a second to set in just a bit. It's like, oh, it's not that bad. Then you're like, oh, it's that bad.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
Stopped at 1:36 to go here in this final round.
Yeah, but he said let's go, so let's go. I don't understand what the holdup is. The guy that gets kicked in the nuts is the one who gets to decide whether it's time to go back again. Let's let him fight.
All right, and I think we're getting back into the action.
So
is he gonna get a warning?
Maybe Brandon's second thought it. Maybe he's like, let's go, and then they're like, well, maybe I take a breath here. I don't know. I don't blame him.
All right, 96 seconds left here. Who can put the exclamation point on this fight?
See, again, look where Brandon's posture starts, where he's kind of low. It looks like he can deliver a shot, and then as it goes, it kind of starts to pick up again.
He's kind of given his game plan away, like that shot and then back up. It's like, and it can be used as a feint, but he's just not going on it.
I understand it's tough to close the distance on a taller guy. That's common. He just goes for it. Not exactly a level change. Gets that leg up, he might score here.
Such a tall opponent. Hard to get that leg sweep when you're the shorter guy.
Good.
But he's got the double leg and into mount. This might solidify a victory here for Brandon Hill.
He really needed that, and I find it difficult to think just the way that Larry Caldwell landed. Didn't look like he was privy to the grappling exchange. He needs to, this is a little better, at least he's up on his hip, but he's got a heavy Brandon Hill just squared up on him, sitting on his chest.
Yeah, Caldwell just kind of holding on for dear life right now, and Brandon Hill is not the man you want sitting on your chest.
Big moment for Brandon Hill. That's what he needed to secure this round. If he can just ride it out, maybe I'd like to see some damage here.
Me too.
I'm a violence connoisseur of sorts.
To maybe frame his opponent out. It's hard to break that grip without some kind of forearm in the face.
Yeah, agreed. But we're up against the fence, so let's do it. Let's forearm in the dang face, posture up, and drop a heater just for his troubles.
Yeah.
Just because we're here, why not? Why waste the time?
Not much time left. I mean, I'm understanding his opponent's holding him there, so he can't posture up because I think he doesn't want to see the same damage that you want. But it was a good fight.
Yeah, really good fight there. Brandon Hill really picking up steam as the fight progressed. Did a good job closing the distance there at the end, getting the takedown, and riding out the final minute on top. Feels like it was enough to get it done here for Brandon Hill. We'll see what the judges have to say about it. We'll see what Brent Mason thinks about it later, too.
Yeah. Might have to get another secret video of behind the scenes butt chewings.
Leader of the Elite Combat Academy right there, Brent Mason in the blue.
Had the single, switch to the double leg. He's able to kind of shuck the legs off the cage.
Yeah, and Caldwell just kind of accepted it, started holding on there for dear life. He did not want to feel some bombs from Brandon Hill.
And it doesn't take much in this division once you get hit with a few of those ground and pound punches. So I can't blame him for wanting to hold on in those moments.
Long deliberation here from the judges. They now have the card in the hands of Dynamite. Victoria will make her way into the cage as well. Dynamite is up the steps. He's got the card in hand, and he is going to deliver our winner here between Larry Caldwell and Brandon Hill.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of Fast and Furious Mixed Martial Arts action, we are going to the judges' scorecard. Ladies and gentlemen, judge number 1 has scored this bout 29-28 for Caldwell. Judge number 2 has scored this bout 29-28 for Hill. Your third and final judge has scored this bout 29-28 in favor of your winner by split decision. Fighting in the blue corner, Larry Caldwell.
So the rematch goes to Caldwell via the split decision. And we'll see what he has to say to Victoria here in just a moment.
Congratulations. It was a fight that had a lot of heat behind it. You guys have a history. How excited were you to get in here and get your revenge, so to speak, on Brandon Hill?
He's a warrior. I kind of got heated because he won the last fight, but end of the day, he did what he had to do to win. And I'm glad I got the W today, but I got nothing but respect for him. He's great.
Well, you were able to make the adjustments to come in here tonight and get the victory, so congratulations. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Just shout out to my corner, my family, to God. That's about it.
Well, congratulations. Looking forward to seeing you get back in the AKA cage pretty soon. Everyone, give it up for your winner, Larry Caldwell.